friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead. Now, the other day I watched a video by J Null Zero, and he made what he called a cheeseburger pie, and I was intrigued. Now this is going to be along the lines of the Impossible Quiche, but I'm breaking out of the mold here, folks, and trying new things. So I'm going to make my version of a cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger pie. First and foremost, I'm going to use a jar of my canned bacon. This is from 2011. See if I can get it out here. This is one of the reasons I know now, A, not to use parchment, and B, to use wide mouth jars. There we go. I'm going to start this frying first because this is my meat, my hamburger is really, really lean. So let's get this in the pan and get that frying up. Now what you're going to need for this is about a half a pound of bacon, 1 pound of extra lean ground beef. Well, you don't have to make, it doesn't have to be lean. You can like pour the grease off afterwards, which I'll probably strain this. And a cup and a half of diced onion. Okay, that's for this part. Then you're going to need a can of diced tomatoes if you want it with peppers and onions or whatever they call it, or herbs, or just plain diced tomatoes, but we are going to drain the juice out of this. You're going to need about a cup to a cup and a half, or even 2 cups of grated cheddar cheese. Also, you're going to need 1 cup of flour, 4 eggs, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a cup to a cup of milk. We'll see how runny it gets. Now that we've got a base in this bacon going, let's get our extra lean, local hay-fed ground beef in the pan with the bacon. Now if you don't want to do it this way and you have strips of bacon, you can pre-fry your strips of bacon and put them in the bottom of your casserole dish. Like pre-fry them in strips, drain them and lay them in the bottom of your casserole dish. But until I butcher our pigs, we don't have any strip bacon. We only have my old canned stuff. Alright? While this cooks, we're going to go over and make our pudding portion of the casserole. Now, while our ground beef and our bacon is frying, we're going to start with the pudding portion of our casserole, or our cheeseburger, hamburger, I don't know. It's a bacon cheeseburger pie, that's it. We have 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon salt. We're going to put that right in there. And we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of butter. And I'm getting it all over the place here. I'll put this down, whoops, lock it into place and put it on stir to put that butter and stuff, get that butter and flour working together. Now while that's working its way up, we're going to put in our 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll bring this up to a little bit higher speed so that we can really get it busy. And we're going to want this runny because we're going to pour it over our meat and veg. So this is a little over 2 cups of goat's milk. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say maybe 3/4 of a cup of cold milk. Alrighty. Now our burger and our bacon is almost ready. You don't want to overcook it, folks, because it is going to go in the oven. But you do want it to have the pink cooked out of it. And we're going to go ahead and add our 1.5 cups of diced onion and a 2-finger pinch of salt. Some pepper, and of course, you guessed it, Garlic, always garlic. Now I don't want this too liquidy, so I've drained most of the juice off these diced tomatoes, and I'm just going to gently stir them in. Now I know this isn't corn and peas like Jay Null did, but I'm making this a bacon cheeseburger pie, or I'm going to call it a bacon cheeseburger pudding, because he's right, it's very much like an English pudding. And when you have bacon and cheese and burger all together, I don't know anybody who don't put a slice of tomato on top. So, alright, so let's let this just simmer, and let's get our casserole dish together. Okay, I've gone ahead and put this and strained out some more of the water from the tomatoes and the onions and that. And we're just going to pour this right in the casserole dish. There's my clock. It's saying it's 5 o'clock. Now this looks pretty full, but I think we're going to be okay. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to kind of poke some holes through here so that our cheese and our pudding gets down in. Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, here we have our meat and our bacon and our onions and our tomatoes. Now you can add peppers and stuff if you want. I just don't have any. And I've got about, I don't know, 2-3 cups of grated cheese here. You don't have to use this much, but we love cheese. And once again, I'm going to take my spatula and I'm just going to kind of poke things. I don't want to stir it, I just want to poke to make sure our pudding gets down in there. And here we go. We're just going to pour this all over top. Give it a couple more pokes here and there. We want it to kind of, I'm going to poke it down around the edges too, because I want it to get down right around all the edges of this casserole dish. I was right, it was just enough. Unless this really swells up, which it might, so I think I'm going to put this on a cookie sheet. And we're going to put this in the oven at 375 for about 40 minutes, or until, it looks done. Cut into this and see how it goes. And with just Daddy and I here today, Briar's gone to a friend's, this should do us dinner tomorrow too. Just get a piece of this out on Daddy's plate. And let's hope it all is holding together. Oh my, look at that. This is bacon cheeseburger pudding. Good? Okay. Bacon cheeseburger pudding. Not too shabby. I'm actually really enjoying this. Another one-pot wonder.